Hey guys, it's me. I just wanted to do a tutorial with you, and it's been a long day. No, those aren't extra lines, and no, I'm not fading here. Actually, that's tape, and that's going to keep me from getting any fallout past here. And the same, I put the same here, so they're kind of even on the edge. It's for my winged line, so I usually do that after I do everything else. So I'm going to be showing you first. We're going to be doing my Get Ready With Me. I'm going to do real basic. First you're going to need a large shadow brush, which I have, and it looks like that. And then you are going to need a few things. Well, of course I'm going to be using the Too Faced Chocolate Palette. And I'm going to try and not blind you, but we're going to be using that. I haven't decided on the colors we're going to use yet because I just woke up not too long ago. We're going to be using the e.l.f. Glitter Primer, of course, since I have oily lids. We're going to be using a black liner from Almay, and that's kind of what's left of it. Of course, we're going to be using my e.l.f. powder, which is for light beige. It's not really, it's darker. I'm going to be using my Mary Kay Mary Kay at Play. It's bold fluid liner, and I won this. And it's a liquid liner by Mary Kay. And then we're going to be using a new mascara because you know you're supposed to be changing it every 3 months. So I ended up picking up a new one. Or maybe we won't be using that brush. Not after that. I picked up a new mascara, and it's waterproof, of course, and it's Falsies Big Eyes Rubble Black. It has the upper eyelash part, and then it has the lower. Since I don't use the lower eyelash for the lower line, I usually use it on my brows because of how thin they are. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but they're really, really thin. There isn't much left in my brows, so I'll be using that probably on them, if I use it at all. And that is by Maybelline, New York. And then, of course, I've got a whole bunch of other stuff, but the first thing I want to do is I want to find my brand new primer, which I have no idea where the heck my face primer went. Aha! Here it is, and it's Fix and Perfect. This is by Rimmel London. I've used it for a while. It's one of my favorites, and this is going to be so hard to be doing with just one hand, but I'm going to quick and pop my primer on, and just in case we have any oopsies anyway. Just so you know, guys, I am doing this one-handed. I am not hitting the tape at all. And I am not putting my foundation on afterwards. You can put your foundation on. Most people put it on before. I don't like to do that because of the fallout. I do like to put my primer on, so it gives it a chance to kind of sit on my skin and work its magic, which usually it does. It doesn't give me that cakey feeling anymore that I've had before, which used to drive me insane. It doesn't matter what foundation it is, I get cakey because I've got a dry patch, and then I've got another dry patch, and then I've kind of got in the T-zone area, it gets oily, and it's just a big old mess. So we don't deal with that until afterwards. It's better to deal with it after you put on your makeup, because if you do deal with it before, you will get, darker lines. I don't want to deal with that, and I'm not going to be doing any contouring on camera. It's just going to be right afterwards doing my foundation. So what I'm going to do first, and yes, I'm doing this one-handed because, well, of course, you know how that works. we're going to take, and I'm going to be putting my e.l.f. glitter primer on my lids. And I'm just going to let that set for a second while I close the container. And of course my primer container, because everything's done one-handed, so this should be fun. Closing this. And of course my eyes are off camera. Can't help that. Okay, now that those are two closed and put away, what you want to do is you want to take your e.l.f. glitter primer and you want to put it all over your eye. And you're going to do that on both sides. And the reason for this is because I have such oily eyes. And what happens is my liner and my eyeshadows, they're not pronounced and they end up fading. So that's just horrible for me. I don't know if it's horrible for you guys, but that is horrible for me. And I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take now my soft, large shadow brush. And we're going to pick a color. First we need to pick a dark color. So I guess we shall use, out of the Too Faced Cosmetic Chocolate Bar Palette, I'll use Amaretto. Now Amaretto is the second one in that line. The second one down. It's kind of a shiny, coppery color. And I'm going to be doing a lot of shiny stuff today, so we're going to be using that. I wouldn't suggest getting this palette too close to electronics. It does have, you know, a magnetic in it. And you're going to just put that at the end and bring it up a little bit, if you have closed eyes like me, a little bit above your crease. And of course it'll be on an angle because the tape's on an angle, so that ain't going to be too much of a problem. Of course, I will have to go back in a bit and soften it, because it'll probably be way, way, way too gritty of a line, but that's okay. We'll fix that after we take the tape off. And then what you want to do is you want to take this line that you just made at the end, and you want to give yourself a false sense of, well, I'd say a false sense of security, but that's really not what it is. My actual line for my crease, as you can see, is below that. So it makes my eyes really closed. What I did was I put a line here, and then what I'm doing is I don't have any more product on the brush. I'm actually taking it and moving it. And you don't want to move it all the way into the corner here, because that will make your eye look small again. What you want to do is do the same thing on here to bring it around. It kind of makes it look like a false line that's there. Okay? And as you can tell on both sides, it will never be even. So that's when cleanup comes in. You come in, you go back, you clean it up. This is just perfect, I think. I don't know if you guys can see that. It looks like it's really, really far out. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut it in here so it looks like this. Okay? And you are not going to believe how much cleanup that you really have to do, because you have to clean up in here, because otherwise you'll have that dark area, and we don't want that. Now, since we're still in the makeup part of fixing everything, what I like to do is I like to actually clean off my brush a bit. So always have kind of like a tissue or something near you, because I'm blending as I go. This is why cleanup afterwards is going to be so much easier, because there's so less product here. By the time that I'm done, it does not ruin the color. So don't go spastic going, oh, there's no color. Yes, there is. There is tons and tons of color here. And what I'm doing is I'm thinning it out like you would a painting. and I'm bringing it in. And don't worry if you get it down here anywhere, actually on the lid, because your lid's covered, so you're really not getting it there. And you can go over the tape too, because you do want to make sure that this doesn't look like Who Did It and Ran. And of course, every so often, make sure to wipe off your brush so you get the excess product off of it. Now, this brush has been with me for a long time. I've had my makeup brushes for 5 years, except for the one from Gossamer. That one was a gift, and that was, I think it was last year that we were talking about that. And we were talking about how beautiful that brush is. And of course, it's still in my inventory. I'm never getting rid of that brush, even if it falls apart. I'll just keep it and just go, yeah. I have one of the first Gossamer brushes. Boop. And of course, this is live on camera, so this Get Ready With Me is actually live, so you're seeing me actually do my makeup for going out. And as you can see, as I'm rubbing this, it's getting lighter, but not a whole bunch. I don't know if you guys can see that. Because apparently that eye doesn't like to, but this eye looks so much darker, and it's really, really not. The days on camera. And it doesn't even, they don't V like that, really, trust me. When I take the tape off and I do the cleanup, I take some of that V down, because you don't really want it that pronounced at the edges. That's just our blending spot. And that will come down when we go to clean up. You'll clean up so it's rounded more on either side, and you won't have to worry about it. So that is our one color. And that was, again, the Amaretto. Okay? And then we're going to pick up another color, because I always like a lighter color with this. And I'm not sure. You know, I think we're going to do a marzipan on this one. And that would be that center one. If you see that, that's kind of a, oh, I guess a peachy, pinky, shiny pearl color. And that's the one that I use the most, besides the one that's under it, which is the creme brulee, which I use tons. So the marzipan, all you're going to do is you're going to take it and you're going to tap it in the center of your eye on the lid itself. Do not go over the dark color with it, okay? If you go too far over, because I usually do by accident, you can go back in and blend it out and blend the dark into it, and you won't have to worry about it. And you also want it in the edge to where you can bring it up. So it does go over some of that color, but from your tear duct up. And sometimes I have to dip in twice, sometimes I don't. I guess it depends on how much I've put on the brush at that particular time. And of course I boo-booed, so now I have to go back and make sure that that dark line isn't affected, because I do not want that light color in that area. Now, if you boo-boo, it's okay. You can always take the dark color and go back over it if you have to, like I am. I mean, this is live camera, so of course there's going to be a boo-boo. You're not going to have everything perfect on the first shot, so don't freak out if you do. Usually, when I have that, I mean, for some reason, this one eye, my right eye, always wants to be more difficult. I don't know if you guys have a right or left eye that's more difficult for you. That's what I have. I always have that eye be more difficult. This eye is always so much more difficult, and I don't understand why, but it is. And I'm going to tell you, I do not play up my eyebrows when I do this because it kind of looks weird on me. And I've got one of those faces that you don't want to be playing too much where you don't know. And even if you do know, you don't want to be playing too much in that area because it just makes it look weird. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking off. I had to put more dark here because I goofed. And as you can see, it's still light. So I'm going to have to sit there and I'm going to have to blend this out as much as I can and darken it as I go. And of course, that's what the second brush is for, okay? This is a rounded shadow brush. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to go back into that and into the first color that we used. And I'm just going to take it and I'm actually going to be a little rough with it. This brush is so thick in thistle, in hairs, that it doesn't budge. My skin will budge first. That's how thick this brush is. And that's what it's for. I use it for cleaning up like boo-boos and stuff like that. If my liner gets out of its little joint there, I use it for that as well. And that's basically that. Now, here's the fun part. We put the Too Faced cosmetics away. And the fun part is doing this. Okay? Now you can see where you have to clean up, and I just have very little cleanup on this. So, what we do is we go into our famous stash, which is, ta-da, inside the cabinet. And I open it up, of course. And, like I said, we don't want that so pointed. And we do want it to look nice and clean. So what I do is I just take the Q-tip and right at the edge where it looks like it's huge, I take it down with the Q-tip. Because sometimes your brushes don't do it. And of course that didn't make it into the garbage like it was supposed to. And as you can tell, as I'm doing this, I'm actually taking off that harsh end. And of course, you'll have to try to even them up. Nothing becomes even on your eyes. I don't care what you do. But it will never, ever, ever be even. And of course, I'm messing up my eyebrows as I do this, which is no big deal. And that's it. That's just the eyeshadow. That one made it in. Now for the under on the waterline, you want to take the May, which is in very black, and just go over the waterline and up a bit at the tear duct. And I mean, if you want to go all the way around, go for it. I can, without lifting it up. I mean, you can go all the way around. Doesn't bother me. But I prefer just doing the bottom, because if you do line the top, and I'm going to show you what my eyes look like after I line the top, because you guys seen they were huge. Now they're small again. That's what happens when you do that. As beautiful as it may look, it's not always as beautiful as you think. So, that's that. We get the liner in. Now comes the hard part, which is the top liner. And of course, I'm going to have this over you guys, so you'll have to excuse me. Now, what you want to do is here, I don't know if you guys can see where I put that line. You want to take it from here over. You don't want anything more than that. Anything more than that makes your eyes look really, really tiny. At least it does on mine. I'm not sure about you guys, but you want to line that whole bottom area as close to the lash line as you can get. I know I usually get it on my eyelashes, which is okay. You can always take it off later. This is not one of those that will drive you crazy. And this is so very hard to do on camera with one hand. Thank goodness for liquid liner, huh, folks? And that's the liner. Now, if you wanted to do a wing, and I'm probably going to end up doing this off camera, but you want to start at the edge on where you put your eyeshadow, and you want to work it almost a little bit past halfway on where it goes, and then you just want to bring it in. I mean, it's nothing extravagant on a wing for this. I've been learning different techniques on how to do it, and most of them say when you do this, to make sure that you're looking down. And of course, I visited MAC, and I told MAC how I was having the trouble with my winged liner. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's how the winged liner comes out now, thanks to MAC. I told him I was having such a huge problem with it. I didn't know what was going on. Apparently, I am one of those people who cannot do a wing with a normal eyeliner. So, I can't do it with this. I know many beauty gurus who can. I cannot. That's still in progress. However, the liquid liner works great for me. If I were you guys, I would not get the black one from the dollar store. It's an LA Colors. Sorry to say, it's the only thing in LA Colors that I do not like. It flakes off, it comes off, it ends down here after an hour, and here, and then, no. Now, we're going to be using the Maybelline Falsies, and of course I'm going to be putting that above you guys too, so, you know, I'm going to be reaching above you quite a bit. And as you heard it pop, and I'm just going to lightly, because there is so much product on here. I don't know if you guys watched Gossamer about this, but there is so much product on here that I usually wipe it off, and I haven't today because I am kind of running late. So I'm going to show you guys real quick. This is what you do. You take it as close to your eyeball as possible, okay? And most people roll it, which just means you turn it, okay? You actually turn it. Now, what I want to show you is I don't do that. I take the lash and I wiggle, okay? And then, of course, I make sure that there's not tons of product on the end when I do that. But you take up the lashes, okay? If you have to blink, that's fine, and wiggle. That's it. That is how I do mine. I don't know if you guys can see that side, but I'm trying. One-handed is not fun to be doing with this stuff, huh? Okay. I mean, it doesn't look extravagant on camera. I'm not going for a, hey, look, it's me. Honestly. Make sure that your mascara is closed. You will hear it click. And then, what I want to do is I want to sit there, and I've got this e.l.f., which is a stock. I don't know if you guys could hear that or not, but this is the e.l.f. Luscious Liquid Lipstick. It's liquid lipstick, and what I do is I just take it, and as you can see, it's a really shiny mess. It's not really a lipstick, it's more like a lip gloss, and it's nothing huge. I mean, it doesn't really leave color. On my lips, if I want color, I'll just add an eyeshadow to it, or a lipstick, but I prefer more of the natural on the lips. If you're playing, here, the thing is, if you're playing up the eyes, you don't play up the lips. That was what I was always taught. The new thing is to play them both up. I'm not comfortable with that. I like more of a natural look on my lips if I'm playing up my eyes. If I'm not playing up my eyes, then I'll put a dark, rich color on my lips. That's the way it is with me. That's the way I was taught, and that's the way it'll be. Now, I told you we had the powder out. Well, there's a reason for this, but I'm not doing it on camera. Okay? The reason behind that is if you get any underneath your eye from fallout, you can use that. But seeing as I have to put on my foundation, I'll be putting that under my eye, tapping it under my eye later. Right now, everything else is done, and I'm getting ready to put on my foundation. Everybody knows how to put on foundation. You can put it on any way you want. You can take a look at Gossamer's on how to get the oils out to make it look more natural. He gave away my secret before I was able to do it. I've been doing that for years because of a lot of the cosmetics company have an oil base to it. But soon I won't be using the liquids. I'll be using a powder, and I'll be showing you guys how to use a powder foundation. One of my favorites, actually. Actually, the company is my favorite. I have not tried their pressed powder yet, and their foundation powder. It's on its way here, so we'll be able to get that done. I have to rebraid my hair since I oiled it, so that's going to be done today. And of course, like I said to you guys, I'm going to be filming ahead of time, so don't be surprised if you see me in the same outfit or with the same makeup on. You already saw the tutorial on it, so that's the tutorial for today, and I will see you guys soon. Stay blessed. I do love you. Take care of yourself. It is going to be a beautiful day out. Get out. Have some fun. Take a walk. You don't need to have money to be doing stuff. Just get out and about. And I will see you guys soon on the next review. And hopefully we've got Instant Natural coming in with their peppermint oil. So you guys get to hear from me with that, as well as some more from Cleopatra's Choice, Adobia, and Go Pure. So, with that said, I will talk to you guys later, and you go and have some fun. Enjoy your weekend, and love you. Bye.